From Daily Trust News Center, this is News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, Abuja estate residents thrown into mourning as suspected phone snatchers stabbed staff of Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to death. Abductors kill 4 after collecting 60 million naira ransom in Taraba. Police authorities in Lagos pledge speedy investigation into the killing of female lawyer by police officer. And on the foreign scene, Ethiopia sends delegation to rebel-held Tigray for talks on implementing peace deal. Compliments of the season, hello and welcome to Trust News Hour tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. We start on a deeply sad note. Residents of Larix Estate in Karimo area of Abuja were thrown into mourning on Christmas Day as a 40-year-old man identified as Usman Ahmed Hassan was stabbed to death by suspected phone snatchers less than 1 kilometer from the estate where he lived. Madia Umar completes the report.
This year's Christmas will be forever remembered by the family, neighbors and friends of Usman Ahmed Hassan, perhaps for the wrong reason. Ahmed Hassan was living in this house with his wife and 4 children. He left this house on Sunday morning for a walk outside his estate when he met his assailants. His neighbor, who is his morning exercise partner, could not make it on the sad day. Hence, Usman has to walk alone that morning.
This is his house and this is my house, and since he parked into this estate, we've been going for morning walk exercise every weekend. While performing ablution, then somebody called in to say that somebody has seen a dead body along this road leading to our estate. So we abandoned the ablution quickly, hopped into our car, and then we drove to the scene. And lo and behold, it was Usman's body that we found there, lifeless body, soaked in blood. His joggers completely soaked in blood. He was stabbed on the right lap, and then there's a deep cut on the lap.
One of his neighbors is yet to come to terms with the murder of Usman Ahmed Hassan, as he described the deceased as an easygoing man.
He was a complete gentleman, a God-fearing person, a devout Muslim, and he's a wonderful person. It's rather unfortunate that he could go at this tender age, and it's quite unfortunate that he could be killed just because of phone.
To the people of the estate, the security situation in the area is becoming worrisome, as they have been reporting cases of phone snatching around the area. Zainab Usman is a victim.
I was a victim. There was a time in April, I went for a walk in the morning. So on my way back, I experienced it. I was just walking, I saw some people following me. When I checked at the back, I saw 2 people behind. I saw 2 people in front. Then I now saw some 2 crossing from the other roadside. Immediately I saw that, I noticed they were about to round me. So what I did was, I just crossed the road, I ran. I was now stopping some cars that were passing like that, but none of them stopped.
The family are demanding for justice for the late Usman, and all effort to speak to the police on the matter failed. Mardia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Hundreds of people attend the funeral prayer for late Usman Ahmad Hassan, who was killed by suspected phone snatchers on Sunday morning around Larix Estate in Karimo area of Abuja. He was buried amidst tears in Barkin Ladi local government area of Plateau State. Ado Musa sent this report.
Late Usman was a staff of Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. He was stabbed to death in the morning of Sunday while jogging. The corpse of the deceased was found in pool of blood less than half a kilometer to his estate gate where he was a resident. Father of the deceased, Hussein Ahmad, said the news of Usman's death was shocking. The wife of the deceased called me on Sunday that Usman was nowhere to be found. since he left for morning walk, and I was later called that his corpse was found. His friends and other good Samaritans recovered the body and brought him to Bariki Ladi for funeral. I have nothing than to thank those who have tirelessly recovered the corpse. Ishaq Adam, a friend to the deceased, described the death as an unfortunate, saying they have lost a friend that will never forget in the rest of their lives. Translation: the death of my friend was very shocking. The entire people of Bariki Ladi and its environs have lost a son. You hardly see him quarreling or having trouble with someone. But all of a sudden, some people attack him and kill him. He was good to his parents and not selfish. He was good to everyone. We will continue to remember him for the rest of our lives. Residents of Bariki Ladi were disturbed by the mother of the deceased, saying the death of Usman will continue to linger in their memories for years to come. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
In the meantime, 4 young men were killed by suspected kidnappers after collecting 60 million naira ransom from their father on Sunday. The incident occurred at a forest near Garindogo in Lao local government area of Taraba State. 3 of the young men were of the same parent and were abducted by kidnappers at Garindogo. The abductors demanded 100 million naira ransom. The father of the 3 young men, Alhaji Musa, a cattle dealer, negotiated with the kidnappers. The kidnappers agreed to collect 60 million naira ransom for the release of 3 young men, and an Okada operator was hired to deliver the ransom to the kidnappers at a forest near the village. However, the kidnappers killed the Okada operator with the 3 abducted young men after he delivered the ransom. In the meantime, 5 suspected kidnappers were neutralized by military operatives at Maisamari town in Sadauna local government area of the state on Sunday. The suspects were alleged to be behind most of the kidnappings in the area. They met their Waterloo while trying to kidnap a cattle dealer in the area. Police spokesman DSP Usman Abdullahi confirmed the 2 incidents. Operatives of the Kaduna State Police Command have arrested a notorious gun runner in Zaria. 4 AK-47 rifles, 344 rounds of ammunition, and an operational motorcycle, telephones, and charms were allegedly recovered from him. The police spokesperson in the state, ASP Muhammad Jalige, confirmed the arrest in a statement issued on Sunday in Kaduna. Jalige said the arrested suspects had been taken into custody, and a preliminary investigation has revealed he and his fleeing accomplices were on a nefarious mission to supply his gang with the offensive weapons. However, the Commissioner of Police, Kaduna State Command, Yekini Ayoku, has ordered a thorough and comprehensive investigation to unearth the source and destination of the illicit arms and the arrest of the suspected criminals cohorts. The police spokesperson further assured members of the public that the command would be unwavering in its commitment to ensuring public safety and security, in line with the operational guidelines handed down by the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba. Police authorities in Lagos said the killing of a female lawyer by an erring police officer, ASP Drambi Vandi, would be investigated within 48 hours. The incident, which took place at Ajah area of Lagos State on Christmas Day, a delegation of senior lawyers met Police Commissioner Lagos State Abiodun Alabi on Monday to demand justice. State Police Public Relations Officer Ben Hundei, who spoke on behalf of the CP, said that the matter will not be swept under the carpet. On his part, Chairman MBA Etiosa Lawyers Forum, Barrister Adewale Soni, explained how the incident happened.
The Inspector General of Police has been briefed on this matter, and the Commissioner of Police is giving close supervision of the ongoing investigation at the State Criminal Investigation Department. And we also intend to update Nigerians regularly on the progress of the information of the investigation and the outcome of the investigation.
We're here because we want the CP, the Commissioner of Police Lagos State, to be abreast with what has happened to one of our colleagues, a citizen of this country, of the untimely death and bastardly crime committed against a citizen, we're here to ensure that this matter will not be swept under the carpet, that justice will be done expeditiously, and that it will be done in a transparent manner. Our conversation with the CP, it's quite a very commendable one, because we have set out strategies to ensure that this materializes. Justice must be done to the family of the deceased.
From the reports that we have, the woman was with the husband and other members of the family, including 4 children, 4 other children, in the car. They were asked to stop, and as they were making their way to stop, of course, the police, the ASP, shot at them. And then it was even said that the man was the ASP, the hearing officer, even went ahead and was saying some untoward things to the other occupants of the vehicle, before and after.
In the meantime, police of the Lagos State Police Command have arrested the Assistant Superintendent of Police, ASP, Atato Ajah Division, for allegedly killing a female lawyer on Christmas Day. Police spokesman SP Benjamin Hundeyi confirmed the arrest on Monday. He stated that 2 other police officers who were with the ASP were also arrested for interrogation. The spokesman stated also that the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, Abiodun Alabi, had been in touch with the family of the deceased and with the Nigerian Bar Association over the incident. The news agency of Nigeria earlier gathered that the incident threw the community into confusion as a suspected policeman and his team fled the scene immediately. The deceased female lawyer, her sister and 4 children were returning from a Christmas outing in their car when the policeman tried to stop them. A source said the woman was trying to make a U-turn under the Ajah Bridge when the ASP allegedly shot at her vehicle and the bullet hit her. The Court of Appeal, Abuja, has reserved judgment in an appeal filed by the sacked Akwa Ibom governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Akanimo Udofia, against the judgment of a lower court. The 3-member panel, headed by Justice Elfrida Williams Daudu, made this known after counsel to the appellant, Damian Dodo, SAN, and Senator Itayanang's lawyer, Mbakweni, SAN, adopted their briefs and presented their arguments for and against the appeal. A federal high court sitting in Uyo had on November the 14th nullified the nomination of Udofia as the governorship candidate of the APC in Akwa Ibom State. The judge, Agatha Okeke, ordered the APC to conduct fresh governorship primary within 2 weeks, but barred Udofia from participating in the new primary. The case was instituted by the former presidential aide who was an aspirant in the primary. Enang had prayed the court to declare him the validly elected candidate of the party, arguing that Udofia was not a member of the party as at the time of the primary. But Udofia had filed an appeal to challenge the Federal High Court judgment. In the appeal, Enang, APC, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, are first to third respondents. Some All Progressive Congress members in Yobe have pledged loyalty to the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, even though he lost the party ticket to represent Yobe North Senatorial District in 2023 election. The supporters held a solidarity rally in Nguru, Yobe State to support his bid to return to the Senate. Here's that report.
Bashir Machina won the APC ticket to contest the Yobe North senatorial election, but the supporters believe President of the Senate and serving senator from the zone should be the one to return to the upper legislative chamber in July 2023. Members of the ruling All Progressives Congress in Yobe North, sympathetic to the political cause of Ahmed Lawan, said he executed numerous projects for the generality of people in the 6 local government areas he represents. The supporters said his inability to secure the party ticket to represent them is a betrayal by some political elite in the zone.
He is the founding fathers, one of the founding fathers. So we look at the situation as a betrayal, either from our leaders of the party, or those who call themselves, or those who think they make something happen. So as an electorate, we felt it and we will not succumb to it. We have here purposely for Senate President. We even don't know anybody. We are here to show to the world that we are together with our son. He is our father, he is our mentor, and we are together with him. That is why we have come to show it to the world that we are together with our father.
Some of the stakeholders in the zone said they have every reason to support Ahmed Lawan.
We are here in support of Senator Ahmed Lawan, his leadership style, and his carrying the people along, so that our people gathered there to support him, to give him more support, so that he will do more for Yobe State and also the Yobe State.
I'm quite okay. Our presence here, despite the fact that we are very much behind Ahmed Lawan, we are very much proud of his representative of Yobe North.
The Senate President had lost the APC ticket to another candidate, but these supporters explained they would rather remain loyal to him for his achievements than to support someone else.
The former governor of Taraba State, Jolly Nyame, has raised an alarm that the state was sharply divided along religious and tribal lines. He said apart from the negative trend, there is also dichotomy between the north and the south in the state. He said the negative trend was introduced recently and only good leadership will bring to an end the religious and tribal differences, which is a very dangerous phenomenon. The former governor stated this during his 67th birthday anniversary in Jalingo on Sunday. He said the state has suffered neglect with lack of basic infrastructure in the last few years. Nyame stated further that citizens of the state have suffered so much, and that is why they are yearning for a change which will bring smiles to the faces of the people of the state. The former governor was granted state pardon by President Muhammadu Buhari while serving jail sentence for fraud. He said there was a time under his leadership when there were more Christians holding key positions than Muslims, but the Muslims did not complain.
The way we are going now, we need good leaders. And good leaders will emerge from us, from all the political parties, from my studies. Because there are good leaders in PDP, good leaders in APC, good leaders in SDP, and the rest of them. It wasn't like I left before. When I left Taraba State, it was only PDP. There was not any other party. The only opposition was APC, and APC was not even existing. But now, Taraba has all the political parties. They all have their signatures in all the local government, in all the wards. So who do you choose? You only choose the best out of them.
Former governor of Taraba State, Jolly Nyame. Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi has ordered that the All Progressives Congress, APC in the state, pays a fine of 5 million naira for contravening the provisions of the State Executive Order 3 of 2022. Executive Order 3 prohibits political parties from using public places such as schools, parks and markets, among others, for political activities without seeking and obtaining due clearance from the state government. The order, signed by the governor in November, also prohibits political parties from using critical infrastructures for pasting posters without obtaining state clearance. The order for the fine imposed on the APC in the state is contained in a statement signed by the Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Uchenna Orji, on Sunday in Abakaliki. He stated that Governor Umahi was saddened by the party's continuous pasting of posters on electric poles, meridians, concrete roads, and on flyover bridges. Orji noted that Governor Umahi had consequently decided to use his political party, the APC, to set an example as a deterrent to others. President Muhammadu Buhari on Sunday hosted Abuja community who paid him Christmas homage. The president revealed his plan to relocate from Abuja after May the 29th, 2023, in order not to meddle in the affairs of the office of his successor. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Musa Bello, led the delegation of Abuja residents at the last Christmas Day homage with the FCT community, comprising political, traditional and religious leaders, women and youth groups, as well as public servants. The president reiterated that he would return to Daura Katsina State, his hometown, at the end of his tenure.
Speech of the Minister of FCT, and I'm very pleased that he has been mentioned as a serious person, honest and hardworking. I think that's why he remained there for so long. I try to make sure that people who used to get their plots just to sell them, I could recall very seriously when I came out from pension. One of the chaps that thinks that he is close to me came and said, I should please see the Minister of FCT to give him a plot. He will sell it, marry another wife, and then hire a shago. My good God, I was overwhelmed by the piety of some people. He wanted the plot in FCT, not to develop it, but to sell it and then get the additional wife.
Today represents a milestone for us in the sense that due to COVID-19, we were not able to come and pay you Christmas homage in December of 2021 and December of 2022. I mean 2020. So we thank God Almighty for have made this possible, particularly also making Christmas to fall on a Sunday. I recall this is the second time we are celebrating Christmas on a Sunday during your tenure of office. And as has been mentioned by the Master of Ceremonies, this also represents the last Christmas that we are going to have an opportunity as residents of the Federal Capital Territory to come and pay you homage, because in 5 months' time your tenure would have ended and the next Christmas will be held here under a new president.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, are health workers maltreating patients? Stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Ba a iya sutura da abinci jin daɗin duniyar mu ya ƙare. Za ka iya more rayuwarka da kayan alfarma na kamfanin Vento Furniture kamar su Ladi Corner Sets, Escape Sofa Sets, Acadia Sofa, Piano Sofa Sets, Sofa Corner Sets, Vento Sofa Sets. Sannan kuma za ku iya saka ƙayatattun gadaje na alfarma a ɗakunan kamar su Gold Cream Bedroom Sets, ko kuma ku wadata falon ku da kujeru na alfarma irin su Sare Royal Set da Acadia Dining Sets. Ofishoshinku kuwa za ku iya saka manya-manyan kujeru na kece raini domin walwala da jin daɗin ku da abokan hulɗa. Kamfanin Vento Furniture ya tanadar muku gadajen bacci na yara masu inganci, kayan ɗaki irin na angwaye da amare har ma da sarakuna. Muna da shagunan mu a gurare kamar haka: 79 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos; 7A Azikiwe Road, Port Harcourt; 25 Glover Road, Ikoyi, Lagos; Shop U1 Jabi Lake Mall, Abuja; da kuma 4330 Walker Road, Windsor, Ontario ga mazauna ƙasar Canada. Vento Furniture, mun zagaye ko'ina.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. Abuja estate residents thrown into mourning as suspected phone snatchers stab staff of Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to death. And abductors kill 4 after collecting 60 million naira ransom in Taraba. Moving on to more news now, the federal government has said it will soon begin the process of verifying money spent by states to tackle the COVID-19 virus. In a statement on Sunday, the Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Agba, said an independent verification agent, IVA, had been engaged for the implementation of the Nigeria COVID-19 Action, Recovery and Economic Stimulus NG Cares program. Speaking during the signing of a contract between the federal government and Stigler Services Limited to serve as the IVA of the NG Cares program, Agba stated that the reimbursed funds would assist in reducing poverty in the country and boost the quest by President Muhammadu Buhari to lift 100 million people out of poverty. On his part, the national coordinator of NG Cares, Dr. Abdul Karim Obaje, said that the IVA engagement bidding process was very competitive and included both local and international firms, saying Stigler Services Limited emerged as the most responsive and competitive bidder. Obaje stated that the Federal Cares Support Unit, FCSU, of the NG Cares program had fixed December 28th for the commencement of the first verification exercise that would run concurrently in all the states and the FCT. Christian community in Tafawa Balewa local government area of Bauchi State have been told to emulate the exemplary life of Jesus Christ, who made sacrifices for human salvation. Reverend Daniel Lumi of Cooking Center made the call after church service in commemoration of the birth of Jesus Christ. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has details.
Tafawa Balewa town is inhabited by many ethnic groups like Sayawa, Jarawa, Fulani, Hausa, Kanuri, and Gas, among other tribes. For them, Christmas period is time for celebration and reflection. Reverend Daniel Lumi, who receives the Muntan Mata at his residence, call on Christian faithful to love one another in peace and harmony.
To the whole Christian, it is a time for one to reflect. It is not time for us to go and organize party where we sin against God, where we do that thing which God has redeemed us from.
He also appealed to them to conduct themselves responsible during the upcoming 2023 elections by electing leaders that are capable of changing their lives for the better.
When we elect those who can govern us, we will have we will have social immunity in our life. As a poor and as a common man, we will enjoy the government, not a person who can be on position that will serve his friend and his family alone.
A member of the Muntan Mata Kokin Church and a resident, Rambai Sunday, explained that if people could change their attitude and emulate the teaching of Jesus of Nazareth, the society will be better for it.
We normally come to our reverend's house like this to express our gratitude, thank them for the works that they have been doing unto us in the church. We come to jubilate with them, especially in this house that we know is right. So we are here to
to assume that it is a day for us to be doing things that are not supposed, and like sexual immorality, drunkenness, and things like that. It is for us to know the purpose of his coming.
Silas Vibani, an indigene of the area, sees the opportunity of the festival season to highlight some historical monuments associated with the people, such as Blackstone sculpture of Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa and Baba Gonto for their liberation.
Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, a very historic person in the history of this nation. Not only this Tafawa Balewa alone, but the whole at large. We, as people of Tafawa Balewa, we are proud to identify with him. Being an indigene of this place, being the one and only Prime Minister Nigeria have ever had.
Silas, however, explained that some prominent sons of Tafawa Balewa town celebrate this year's Christmas elsewhere. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Christmas season in the air, and some Muslims in Kujama in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State joined their Christian counterparts to celebrate Christmas. They said the love and harmony between adherents of the two religions date back several years. Trust TV's Bello Musa now reports.
The celebration began with church service by members of the community. Christmas celebration in Kujama brings to the fore the bond that exists between adherents of different religions. One memorable moment that makes the celebration unique in Kujama is the sharing of food and other gifts with Muslim households by their Christian neighbors.
Mun dade muna zaman lafiya da juna, kuma mun saba kowane Christmas muna yi ma juna. An zo lokacin sallah su ma suna yi mana, muna zaman lafiya.
On Christmas Day, we do not cook because we eat Christmas food throughout. We celebrate Salah and Christmas together. We visit each other during Christmas and Salah festivals. During Salah or Christmas, if you come to Kujama, you will not recognize who is a Christian or Muslim. Some of us go to church, while others go to mosque. It is a choice here. They admonished other people in the area to promote peace and understanding for the development of the community.
Atmosphere of peaceful condition we have been having experience in this place has been so wonderful, because we have Muslims and the Christians, and we marry each other. We have some in the church, some are in the mosque. There has never been any atmosphere of misunderstanding between these two religions. So we have been enjoying each other, we have been living in peace.
Na so dukkan mu zama masu kaunan junanmu duk inda muka shiga, kada mu nuna bambanci da junanmu. Mu zama masu kaunan juna duk inda muka shiga, kada mu nuna wannan musulmi ne wannan Christian ne.
I call on the Muslims and Christians to live in peace, because without peace there won't be any development. Cultural display of rich tradition of the people takes center stage as council members of the palace and other people pay Christmas homage to the traditional ruler of the area.
Sa'an da ake bukukuwa akwai dama Krista zai iya zuwa ya zo wajen masallatai.
During Christmas, Muslims visit church and we visit mosque also, and we are living in peace because we always meet with community members to discuss issues affecting us.
Kuma muna taki kuma
We are farmers. We want government to provide us with fertilizer so that we can produce crops for the state. We don't want farmer-herder clashes, so we call on the people to maintain peace in our community. The traditional ruler admonished his subject to shun anything capable of disrupting the peaceful coexistence in the community. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
A truly beautiful Nigerian story from Kujama. Christians have been admonished to embrace one another through love, care, and tolerance, irrespective of differences. Leaders of various churches in southern Adamawa called for religious tolerance and mutual respect and understanding among Nigerians as the roadmap for peaceful coexistence and harmony in the country. Salis Lawan files in this report from Newman.
In his goodwill message to mark this year's Christmas, the paramount ruler of Mashama Kingdom, Dr. Daniel Shaga Ismaila, said that deliberate effort must be made by all and sundry to engender peace and security in the land.
Well, in all Christmases, we give glory to God. And this one is no different. This one is exciting to us because we are experiencing this second Christmas in peace. We don't have conflict around here. We don't have anybody judging us. But that is not to say we are not watching our back. But Christmas has been good, and we believe it's going to be good. And it's going to usher in a good new year. Any other thing we do outside what God says, the commandments of God, we are not obeying what God says. God wants obedience. God does not want sacrifice. You know, God's sacrifice may be good, but God is calling us to obedience, and He's calling us to peace. So whatever you're doing, wherever you find yourself, whatever the situation is, be a peacemaker in the midst of the people.
Christmas, he said, teaches Christian faithful the spirit of the sacrifice as exemplified by Jesus Christ, his advocacy for peace, love, tolerance, and forgiveness.
We thank God because the situation is peaceful and there is freedom. Christians are now trooping churches to celebrate the Lord, to celebrate the coming of the Lord. But one thing with Christmas is, you know, the coming of Christ brought us peace, brought us freedom. So COVID or any insecurity cannot prevent us, you know, from celebrating the coming of the Lord.
Every Christian needs to remember, because this is the day that a Savior was brought forth for mankind. And that is why every Christian, every believer must celebrate this day. Because without this day, there will be no humanity now, even to mention. But because of the coming of Christ, we can talk of people still living.
We must pray. We must pray for Nigeria. Because what we are experiencing now, it doesn't show us a brighter future for Nigeria. We must go back to God. We must pray for this election, and we must look up unto God to give us a leader, a God-fearing leader.
They call for peaceful coexistence and understanding among Nigerians, even as they pray for peace to reign in the country. From Numan, Salis Lawan, reporting for Trust TV.
Christmas, a good time to celebrate peace. Community leaders in Tudunwada area of Jos North local government area of Plateau State have called for peaceful coexistence amongst the diverse ethnic and religious bodies in the state, saying communal harmony is vital for advancement of the state. The leaders spoke during a Christmas feast where they ate together and exchanged pleasantries. Our correspondent Dixon Adama, who visited Tudunwada community, found Christian families seen taking Christmas food to their Muslim neighbors. He now reports.
Christmas celebration in Tudunwada community in Jos North exemplified essence of the celebration. Here, Christians share food with the Muslim neighbors. Two adherents who feasted together prayed that the unity and peace they have always known on the plateau be restored. Solomon Jan Yodzaka, member of Tudunwada community, whose son was seen taking food to his father's Muslim friend, said there is no alternative to peace.
This is the Xmas season. I sent my son to bring food to my friend, a Muslim friend, with his family right inside the compound. We are together with him and his family. So we eat together, and I'm wishing everybody to live in peace, both Muslim and Christian. I wish everybody happy and Merry Xmas and prosperous New Year.
I'm very happy and I'm grateful that my colleagues brought food for Christmas inside our house. We eat together, we live together, and always we are praying to live together, both we Muslims and Christians. And we are living together always. No problem, no trouble, no anything. Our children, they are together. We elders, we are together. So we thank God and we are very happy.
At this festivity, we live in peace with everybody. All the tribes, especially our brothers, Muslims, we share food to everybody. Everybody in our country, you have to give him food. And we are living in peace to see that our state goes successfully.
Plateau State has recorded sectarian violence in the past, but occasions like this remind people of their commonalities and shared humanity.
Some of us are beneficiaries of the age-old tradition of sharing food between Christians and Muslims during the various religious festivities. I vote that it be sustained. There is a growing concern over maltreatment and attitude of health workers towards their patients. Patients often complain that health workers maltreat them when they visit hospitals for medical treatment. Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade captures the experience of some patients.
Health workers are employed to provide care and cushion the effect of the pains their patients are passing through. But the reverse is the case. In most cases, health workers tend to further aggravate the pains of their patients with uncomplimentary statements and derogatory remarks. Pregnant women in labor are mostly at the receiving end of this social ill commonly perpetrated by nurses. Some of the victims said health workers, especially nurses, do not value life and are inhumane.
When I go to hospital, let me use when I'm pregnant of my baby. When I go to hospital and I got late, so I was kind of begging them that, okay, that is the reason why I came late. Instead of them to listen to the other side of my own story and attend to me, they did not attend to me. The nurse was just shouting that, why can't you watch your time? Don't you know that you are not supposed to come late, this and that, and we are going to chase you by, you are going to do this, do that. So when she was saying that, we are all human beings, so I became angry.
Nurse and doctors, like let's say nurse now, nurses are very, very arrogant. I don't know whether it's their distance, but they are so arrogant to the extent that they don't take people as their own.
The health workers in Nigeria, generally, not peculiar to a region, Nigeria, it is a general phenomenon, are just creating more problems to the patient by using derogatory words.
However, there are other health workers who treat their patients with respect and talk to them politely. A community leader in Osun State, Chief Inurin of Ilaorangun, Gbadamosi Azeez, said health workers at the state hospital Asubiaro in Osogbo, Osun State capital, are known for their politeness in attending to their patients.
In this hospital, our doctors, nurses, health attendants, all of them do fine. They talk to patients like a family.
Meanwhile, ethics of the medical profession discourage the health workers from maltreating their patients, an indication that the attitude is born out of individual way of life of those in such habits. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
From health, we go now to aviation. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has advised pilots and airline operators to exercise caution over hazardous weather in this dry season. This warning was contained in an advisory circular signed by the Director General, Directorate of Aerodrome and Airspace Standards, Captain Musa Nuhu. The advisory circular is sequel to the Seasonal Climate Prediction SCP issued by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET, which reported that cessation of rainfall and weather associated with dry season in Nigeria from late December 2022 to March-April 2023 is in focus. According to the circular, pilots are advised about nature of weather associated with dry season in Nigeria, ranging from light, moderate to severe dust haze, and sometimes early morning fog, which can sometimes reduce the horizontal visibility to below the aerodrome operating minimum. Traders in the famous timber market in Imo State are counting their losses after parts of the market was razed by fire on Christmas Day. The traders also lamented that their Christmas celebration was cut short. More than 300 shops were razed to the ground in the fire disaster which occurred on Christmas Eve. Our correspondent gathered that the fire started early morning on Sunday, destroying shops, goods, vehicles, and property worth billions of naira. One of the affected persons, who gave his name as Chinemere Ikerionwu, said he has lost millions of naira in the incident. He said he lost everything he had labored for over the years. Ikerionwu said that he was in his house around 3 in the morning on the third day when someone called him, and on getting to the place, he saw his shop in ruins. Another victim, Darlington Chinaza, who deals in furniture, said that the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained. He appeals to the state government to come to their aid to enable them begin life again. One of the lucky persons who witnessed the incident, Benjamin Onyewuchi, thanked God for saving his wife's shop from being affected by the fire. You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. More stories after the break. Stay.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory are hereby alerted to the activities of scavengers, also known as Babambula, which security agencies have identified as a high-level security threat to not only the residents but also to our infrastructure, as they perpetrate petty stealing and acts of vandalism on public utilities. More so, they are drug peddlers, serve as spies to terrorist elements, and are ready-made tools for the public disturbances during which they attack people with dangerous weapons. The Federal Capital Territory Administration therefore reiterates that the ban on scavengers, aka Babambula, operating within the Federal Capital City is still in force. These miscreants are advised to stay off the streets of the Federal Capital City for their own good, as defaulters will be apprehended and prosecuted, including parents of underage children involved in these practices. Relevant agencies are carrying out enforcement of this ban as stipulated. Be law-abiding always. Let's together build the FCT of our dreams. Management announcer.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Thank you for rejoining us. On the foreign scene, a high-level Ethiopian team on Monday arrived to the capital of the rebel-held Tigray region for talks on implementing a peace deal to end over 2 years of conflict. Addis Ababa and Tigray's rebel forces have agreed to create a joint monitoring body to ensure the November peace deal to end the brutal war is respected by all sides. Among the terms of the agreement was a provision to establish a monitoring and compliance mechanism so that both sides could be confident the truce was being honored and any violations addressed. Tens of thousands have died in 2 years of bloodshed in Tigray. The aim is to supervise the application of the peace deal signed on November the 2nd. The agreement provides for the disarmament of rebel forces, the re-establishment of federal authority in Tigray, and the reopening of access to the region. Voter registration kicked off in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, over the weekend as the country prepares for the December 2023 general elections. President Felix Tshisekedi is expected to seek re-election after a first term marked by economic hardship and a resurge of rebel activities in the east. Almost 50 million people across the vast Central African nation's 26 provinces are expected to register to vote over the next 3 months. However, registration opened in the first 10 provinces on Saturday morning to long lines and undersupplied stations. The Electoral Commission, CENI, rolled out a new mobile phone pre-registration system to speed up the process and prevent the long queues that formed during past polls. Iris scans have also been added to limit fraud, but most registration stations in the capital, Kinshasa, failed to open as scheduled due to a lack of staff and material, reporters of Reuters news agency observed. Citizens in other provinces made similar observations. China has announced that its quarantine requirement for travelers arriving in the country will end on 8th of January. The measure is the latest in a series of restrictions to be lifted as China abandons its zero-COVID policy. China is seeing an explosion in COVID-related infections, and medical workers have said they are struggling to cope. State media quoted President Xi Jinping as saying the country faced new situations demanding a more targeted response. China has stopped publishing COVID statistics, but it is thought thousands of people may be dying every day. Since March 2020, all passengers arriving in China have had to undergo mandatory centralized quarantine, but the length of time has been progressively reduced from 3 weeks originally to just 5 days at present. Under the new rules, COVID will be downgraded from a Class A infectious disease to Class B, meaning that quarantine will no longer be enforced. We'll now join Ibrahim Yusuf for Sports News.
Action resumed in the English Premier League with Tottenham's Harry Kane breaking the league's goal-scoring record on Boxing Day with his strike during the clash with Brentford. The England captain netted his 10th goal on the day when he headed home Ivan Perisic's 56th-minute cross at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Kane, who surpassed the previous record set by Robbie Fowler, also maintained his record of scoring in all 7 of his Premier League appearances on Boxing Day. Antonio Conte's side fell 2-0 behind as Brentford took control with goals from Vitaly Janel and Ivan Toney, but goals from Kane and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg dragged the visitors level. Kane's appearance for Spurs came 16 days after a crushing defeat in the World Cup in Qatar, where England lost to France in the quarter-finals and Kane missed a late penalty. He showed no signs of that hindering his performances back at club level, however, with the strike against Brentford being his 12th in the Premier League this season. Meanwhile, in another fixture, Newcastle showed they can be part of the Premier League title race, moving second in the table with a 3-0 win at Leicester. The 6-week break has not derailed what is turning out to be a memorable season under Eddie Howe, and the Magpies eased to the 3 points at the King Power after a sensational opening 32 minutes. Chris Wood's penalty and a sublime Miguel Almiron strike put them 2-0 up after only 7 minutes, with Joe Linton adding a third just after the half-hour mark. There was no way back for Leicester, and the Magpies moved 4 points behind leaders Arsenal, who play later on Boxing Day. And finally, Wolves have signed Brazil forward Matheus Cunha on an initial loan deal from Atletico Madrid. Cunha will officially join the club on January 1st before signing a permanent 4-year deal at the end of the season. He is the first signing made by new Wolves manager Julen Lopetegui, who took charge last month. The forward began his professional career with Swiss side Sion in 2017, going on to play for RB Leipzig and Hertha Berlin in Germany before joining Spanish side Atletico Madrid in the summer of 2021, where he has scored 7 goals in 54 appearances. And that's sports news. I am Ibrahim Yusuf.
Thank you, Ibrahim. On a lighter note, let's take a look at how a small town in East China's Zhejiang has acquired wealth from snails via a 35-year snail farming industry, which has become more prosperous in China thanks to the increasing popularity among Chinese diners.
Snail is a delicacy in French cuisine. Statistics show that 300 million snails are consumed in France every year. Snails have played an integrated part in French cuisine for hundreds of years. The French delicacy is now often served at Chinese dining tables, which has driven the growth of the snail industry.
In a small township in Jiaxing, the local people started breeding snails 35 years ago, in 1987. Today we are visiting a leading company in producing and processing snails in Yuxin Township, Jiaxing City, East China's Zhejiang Province. And this company has taken up 70% of the market share in Chinese market.
目前我们公司的产品面向全国消费市场。近几年，我们公司蜗牛产品的销售以每年10%的速度在增长，去年产值达到了7100多万元。我们相信，随着中国消费者对蜗牛产品的接受程度不断提高，未来的市场前景将无比广阔。目前，我们带动了全国7省1市的500多户农户进行家庭式养殖。我们会进行技术指导，帮助农户做到标准化、订单式养殖，符合要求的蜗牛我们都统一收购，保障农民的收益。我们公司高度重视食品安全、标准化生产和品控，与许多中餐厅和西餐厅连锁企业都保持着长期而又稳定的合作。从农田到餐桌，我们实现了品质和价值的跨越，也希望带动周边乃至全国的蜗牛养殖户一起走向共同富裕。
An interesting story there. Money in the bank and food in the stomach. With that, we have come to the end of Trust TV News Hour tonight. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Eugenia Abu. Good evening.